Well, first we'll go at what FIFA said. FIFA said the reason, well, we started the normalization committee on March 17th. The reason FIFA gave for that was high, practically unmanageable debt and poor financial structure. That was the reason for putting in the normalization committee. Thereafter, the elected officers refused to accept their removal. They contested it in court. FIFA gave the Ttfa 2 deadlines to remove the case. And I mean, in fact, the Ttfa had filed a withdrawal to remove the case, but apparently FIFA was notified late or not really notified at all about it, apart from a public statement, and so they decided to suspend. So I guess it boils down to, in the end, FIFA deciding that the Ttfa was moving too slowly in removing the case from the High Court.
You know, there's a lot of talks of, I guess, two different opinions on the matter. I guess the first one would be some persons are opinion, I'm reading in Trinidad and Tobago, that there was a bit of high-handedness from the FIFA body to install the IMC in that regards. And then at this juncture in time, persons are calling the actions by United, the Ttfa, a bit selfish and a big ego in terms of, I guess, withdrawing the withdrawal. So the matter is practically gone back to square one with FIFA. You know, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of, if there's ego in this thing, and I wouldn't doubt that there is, it's certainly on both sides, you know. For instance, FIFA has an entire committee called the Members Association, and you can probably guess what that's for. It's meant to look into issues that member associations have. You would assume that if FIFA had a problem with how things were being done in Trinidad and Tobago, the first port of call would have been to send in the Members Association to deal with the member association, and that wasn't done. And Infantino stepped in. And the reality is that the Ttfa members at any point in time could have took actions into their own hands and removed Wallace, but FIFA insisted on doing things their way essentially, right? They knew full well that the High Court said that it still considers Wallace to be the president. And by continually referring to Wallace and so as the former members, I think it confused the life out of Ttfa members, because what happened is the Ttfa members tried to hold an EGM to essentially have the case pulled, but instead of sending the request to the Ttfa president, they sent it to the normalization committee that FIFA enacted, you know, and that committee has not been deemed to be a legal body. So the errors, the whole question of ego and so on, it definitely goes both ways.
Big a blow is this to Caribbean football as a whole. We know, I guess, in yesteryears that have gone by, we've had a lot of issues again with Caribbean football. Some persons being banned, some persons obviously being threatened to go to jail. And again, you know, FIFA having to bring down their strong arm in Caribbean football. You know, how big a blow you think this is?
Well, the biggest problem to Caribbean football is Caribbean football. You know, the Caribbean has 25 member associations, right? CONCACAF has 35. Right now we have a Canadian president. You know, that in itself shows how much respect the Caribbean has for itself, because Caribbean makes up almost 2/3 of CONCACAF, right? The whole of South America, we know how many World Cup trophies they have over there between Brazil and Uruguay and Argentina. The entire South America is 10 nations. So the Caribbean is more than double the power politically of South America. And yet, you know, they choose to be on their knees and to be dictated to all the time. The Caribbean doesn't even have a representative at the bureau level when they decide on suspending a Caribbean member. And the Caribbean wasn't even so much as informed before information was sent to Trinidad that, listen, we have a problem with one of your members and we're going to take action, you know?
But back to the big issue at hand, do you foresee this matter being resolved before the deadline stipulated? Because a big question from a Guyanese perspective is being asked.
Of course.
You know, will I guess Guyana and FIFA be meeting in the World Cup Qualifiers? You know, obviously, if there's a resolve, that won't happen.
Yeah. Listen, this problem could be resolved in 10 days. You know, it's not a matter of if people use a little analysis and stop running around like headless chickens, right? The Constitution says that EGM can be called by the members within 10 days, maximum 30 days. All the members of the Ttfa have to do is write to the Ttfa president, the right one. By now, they should know who the right one is. Write to him with an agenda requesting an EGM to solve this. If the Wallace, the president, doesn't call one within 30 days, according to the Constitution, the members can then have one themselves and decide whatever they want to do. If they want to sit down and wait for FIFA to fix the problem for them, just like Caribbean football is always sitting down and waiting for someone else to sort their problems out, well then all right, you know, anything could happen, maybe we'll be banned. But really it's a very simple constitutional matter.